Getting lost in the new Big Ten? Welcome into the Voice of College Football discussion, debate, and analysis. We appreciate you stopping by. Please like the video and subscribe. Catch me live every Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's talk about the Badgers under Luke Fickell. Of course, Paul Chryst got fired after going 9-4, and in the midst of a 3-2 season, Fickell comes in after the interim stint by Jim Leonhard, and I considered it to be the coaching hire of the offseason. Not so far. 7-6, 5-7 last year against a brutal Big Ten schedule. The schedule doesn't necessarily get any lighter this time around. Let's check it out. Luke Fickell will face Miami of Ohio out of the gate. The Redhawks made it to the MAC championship game last year. Wisconsin has won the only meeting between the two teams, 58-0 back in 2015. Head coach Chuck Martin leads this Miami of Ohio program. Not going to be necessarily an easy one. Middle Tennessee comes in for a first meeting against the Badgers on September 6th, followed by the big showdown against Bama. Wisconsin and Bama met in 2015. Bama pulled away in the fourth quarter. Won big. They won big last year. That started pretty much in the first quarter of Tyler Van Dyke getting injured on the first series of the game. Bama rolled 42-10. Wisconsin did win a game against Bama way back in 1928. This is going to be a tall test for Wisconsin, but tell us much about this football team early on going to Bama. Then Maryland, you would have to consider this to be a near must win. Maryland looking to bounce back from a dismal 1-8 showing in the Big Ten. The Badgers have won all 4 games in the series, most recently in 2022. MJ Morris at quarterback for Maryland. And then after the bye week, this stretch of games. Wow. At Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, at Oregon. The Big Ten doing few favors for the Badgers the last couple seasons. Okay, the trip to Ann Arbor, where Michigan leads the series 52-17. The quarterback situation in Michigan could be Bryce Underwood's job at this point. Mikey Keene from Fresno State could still be the guy, or maybe Davis Warren hangs on to the job. The last time Wisconsin met Michigan, just at the outset of the Michigan dynasty at the beginning of 2021, Big Ten opener, monumental win for Jim Harbaugh, J.J. McCarthy and company winning 38-17 in Madison. Season before, Wisconsin won 49-11. Then they've got this Iowa game, which has turned out to be a real difficult one for the Badgers to even score points as they've lost 3 consecutive games to Iowa. They lead the series 49-47. This has been and was the game of the year most of the time in the Big Ten Western Division, but no more Big Ten Western Division. But this is a permanent rivalry, of course, between the Badgers and the Hawkeyes. Then Ohio State comes to town, and this has been a demolition of a series. At one point, the Badgers gave the Buckeyes all sorts of fits during the early 2000s Jim Tressel era. 10 straight for the Buckeyes since 2010 when they lost as the number 1 team in Madison. 63-18 is the series record right now. And then Wisconsin's got to go to Oregon, where they put up a great fight against the Ducks, outplayed Oregon in Madison before losing 16-13. Of course, these teams met in Rose Bowls in 2011 and 19, and Oregon leads the series 4-3. So that stretch of games, my goodness, if Wisconsin could somehow go 4-2, which is probably going to be a win against Iowa, and then pull off a game against somebody else, that would be a tremendous run right there, because they'll probably have a loss against Bama already. So that would be 3 losses through 8 games. But against this schedule, 5-3 would be pretty stout. The closing run, not easy, not super difficult. Washington at home, they last met in 1992 at Indiana. And the last time the Hoosiers and Badgers got together was 2 seasons ago, and Indiana won 20-14. Wisconsin leads the series 41-20. Then the Illinois game on November 22nd, and Wisconsin beat Illinois the last time they faced the Illini in 2023 by 4 points. They lead the series 45-39. Of course, the Illinois football team bounced back here with Luke Altmaier and Brett Bielema company. Excellent defensive showing, and Altmaier back for a 3rd season as the starting quarterback with the Illini. That could be a big game. And then November 29th, of course, they close out with Minnesota. Paul Bunyan's axes on the line, 24-7 loss by Wisconsin to Minnesota. They used to dominate this series, but now PJ Fleck has finally broken through after there was a stretch of 15 consecutive Wisconsin wins. Look at the series record, 63-63 and 8. If Wisconsin can make this a winning season, that would be a huge step in the right direction. Comparing 2024's Big Ten opponents to 2025, 3 stay the same. Oregon, Iowa, and Minnesota. Of course, Iowa and Minnesota are permanent opponents. Those 3 teams went 21-6 in the Big Ten last year. In 2024, Wisconsin played Penn State, USC, Rutgers, Nebraska, Purdue, and Northwestern. Those were the teams that are off the schedule this year. And those teams, sure, Penn State, one of the best teams in the Big Ten. Then it drops off to USC, who only went 4-5. So only one winning record did Wisconsin face out of those teams that they faced in 2024 that are not back on the schedule. So that composite record for all those teams, 21-33, replaced in 2025. We thought Wisconsin had a tough schedule this past season. They have the toughest schedule in the Big Ten, I believe. Indiana, Ohio State, Illinois, Michigan, Washington, and Maryland, 31-23, are the replacements in 2025. So when you take those 3 opponents that Wisconsin faced in 2024 that are back on the schedule in 2025, and then the 6 additional opponents, the composite record for Wisconsin's Big Ten opponents, 52-29. So that's 81 games. You should be playing, if it's an equitable schedule, 41-40 or 40-41. 52-29, toughest schedule in the Big Ten. You're welcome, Luke Fickell, trying to get this program back to where it was under Alvarez, Bielema, and the rest of them. And that's going to be an uphill climb. Certainly, the month of October is brutal for Wisconsin. Comments and questions down below. Keep in mind, we are live with you each and every Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the College Football Show. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you then.